name is Sam. I am 15 years old and I attend a mainstream school in Washington called Biddick Academy. Before I start, I would like to tell you that I can speak quite well. Talking is my preferred method of communication. However, my speech can be unclear and it can be hard work for me to talk for long periods because I have dysarthria and sometimes disfluency. Lots of factors affect my ability to speak, like tiredness, illness or other pressures. I have only been using my tech voice, as I call it, for less than a year. My tech voice is the voice I use for presenting and talking in front of large groups. I use it to introduce myself and to do speeches, presentations and workshops. I spend a lot of time preparing and practicing what I want to say, so I am able to express myself so much better and say so much more. This makes me feel so empowered. I had a really bad start in life. I had a long cardiac arrest when I was 17 days old, which is why I have cerebral palsy and all of the difficulties and medical issues. The doctors told my mum and dad that, if I survived, I would be very disabled and probably would never talk or really be able to do anything at all. Luckily, I surprised everyone. I was determined to communicate and I learned to speak, although it took me quite a long time. I used communication aids when I was little. I had a book my mum made with symbols for me to point to. She would spend hours each week adding pages about things I was interested in or things I was learning about in nursery. I also tried using technology, but overall, speaking became my preferred way to communicate. Although I have a great physical disability, I try to be as positive as possible. I see myself as differently abled, not disabled. I have lots of ambition and determination. I also have lots of support from my family, which means a lot. I have always loved football, and I have been a coach since I was 9. When I moved to secondary school, I started coaching the school team, which I still do. I really know my stuff and I'm really good at it. My dream for the future is to become a professional coach. I really like school, although it can be quite challenging being the only one in a wheelchair in a mainstream secondary school. I am on the school council and I always try really hard with everything I do. I have two main passions in life. The first is football, and the second is advocating for young people, especially those with special educational needs and disabilities. SEND. I have been a member of the SEND Youth Voice Group for Sunderland, STARS, for over 2 years. We are a group of young people aged 12 to 25 who promote SEND Voice, help shape services, advocate for inclusion and accessibility, and provide opportunities for socializing and participation. Being part of STARS really changed my life, as I felt my voice was being heard properly for the first time. Being a disabled young person, like me, can be really challenging. I have a lot of medical appointments, and it feels as though I am always fighting to get the things I need. It's also hard to find things to do and to meet other young people. So STARS has been great for that. As everyone understands, I have a whippet called Sky. She is training to become my assistant's dog. She is also the therapy dog for STARS. When I joined STARS, there were no events or fun days for young people with SEND in my area. In 2021, the STARS planned our first special SEND event and it was a huge success. We now run events in every school holiday for hundreds of young people. In our STARS sessions, we often speak to people who provide services in our area. In the past, I have always done my best to use my voice to speak to these people, with the help of my mum, who supports me if people don't understand my voice. In February 2022, I joined Sunderland Youth Council. It was really difficult to make my voice heard at first. I am the only young person in the group with a communication difficulty or a disability. The group are very lively and talk an awful lot. I had a bit of a turning point when I took part in the State of the City debate at the City Hall in Sunderland. I was on the stage and listening to other young people make speeches. I thought to myself, I want to do that. I decided to set myself a goal. I wanted to be up there making a speech at the next debate. They happen every 2 years, so watch this space in 2024. In 2021, I had an amazing experience. I won the Sunderland Young Achievers Award for personal achievement for all of my hard work at school, my commitment to my youth groups, and for my attitude and determination. I also won the overall competition too, out of hundreds of nominations. I want to show you my nomination video, which I made before I started using my tech voice. I think you will agree that I can express myself a lot better now. I can't believe this was only a couple of years ago. And I started to investigate ways that I could begin using my tech voice in my groups. I already had the predictable app, which I had used a little bit, so we started with that. After talking with some of the practitioners we work with about what we were trying to do, they were really keen to help. We soon had a team including our occupational therapist, speech therapist, assistive technology team, and my youth group leaders. Our goal was to look at AAC in a new way. I can talk and have achieved so much without AAC, but I wanted people like me to be able to dream bigger. My speech limits me in some ways, and I have so much to say. Why shouldn't I do presentations, speeches, workshops, and make videos? I called this mission Project Voice. Because I have good enough speech for basic communication, I don't meet the criteria for a referral for a communication device or specialist support in that area. We thought there was a lack of support for people who don't want to settle for basic communication, so we wanted to find a solution. We looked at different apps, and I tried a few out. For doing speeches, I now find my laptop the easiest to use. I just needed to learn how to use the accessibility settings properly. I really hope that Project Voice can help other young people like me by showing them that you can use different ways to communicate for different situations. This is a clip of me using my tech voice for the very first time. It was a very big moment for me.
Hi everyone. This is the first time I have used assistive tech to help with my talking. I can speak, but sometimes my speech is not clear. I have decided that I sometimes want to use my iPad to help me be better understood. I don't know if you know, but I'm also a member of the Stars and Youth Voice group. Last Thursday, I told them all about our campaign and asked them for ideas. I thought it would be good to share them with you tonight.
My next speech was in front of a slightly larger audience, 500 people. I was invited to the Sunderland Young Achievers Awards in 2022 as the previous winner to give a speech. Here it is.
Listen very closely. This is high-tech technology. Over to you, son.
Hello. My name is Sam. Last year, I was a winner in the Personal Achievement category, which made me feel amazing. I then went on to win the overall Andy Neal Award, which was a huge surprise. Firstly, I want to explain why I chose to use my technology to talk to you tonight. Even though I can talk, it can be difficult for me sometimes and also sometimes difficult for people to understand. I think it is really important for people to be able to communicate what they want to say and not be held back. I can now choose to use my iPhone to help me talk in any situation. The other day, I ordered for myself in Costa for the first time. Woohoo! This is my first time using my technology in front of a lot of people. My hand is definitely doing this. L. I want to tell you what it means to me to have one. Since last year, everything was done online, and I didn't get the opportunity. I won the award because of my hard work and perseverance through difficult times. I am also an ambassador for my school and my city, as I participate in lots of youth voice groups. People generally admire my attitude as I am very determined and positive. I feel as though it is a big achievement for someone with a disability like mine to be able to overcome challenges and do the things you might not think I can. I like to think of myself as differently abled, rather than disabled, as it sounds more positive. I am very proud of my achievements and to be part of the awards again tonight. In the future, I plan to continue to advocate for young people and also to pursue my dreams of becoming a football coach. Always remember to never let things hold you back in life. If I can do it, you can do it. I hope you enjoy the rest of the night.
FLARE is a national SEND group for the Department for Education. We meet in London 6 times a year. I applied to join in September 2022 and I was successful. I have faced so many challenges in my education, especially in getting the right support. Being part of a group like FLARE means I can be part of making positive changes and be involved in decisions. I have had many exciting opportunities since I joined FLARE. I volunteered to run a workshop with other FLARE members at the Youth Voice Matters conference in Manchester. I developed the workshop with my group around getting the right support in school. I was the only one using AAC. The session went really well and I was so proud of myself. There was an illustrator who drew this poster about our session. At the conference, I was asked to be a reporter. I came up with some questions and stored them in my phone so I could ask the right one at the right time. Most people understood me really well. The Council for Disabled Children made a short video about the day, which I am in. Here it is.
We're here today to find out young people's views at the Youth Voice Matters conference. What are you looking forward to from the conference today?
I'm looking forward to hearing all the young people have their voice heard and speak about what is important to them so that they can share their views on different things.
Why do you think events like these are needed?
To share information and to also help people learn about different disabilities.
I think it's really important for young people to have their say and to be able to feedback on how services and support is working, but also it gives young people a chance to meet other like-minded people and be able to support each other.
What have you enjoyed the most about the day so far?
I really enjoyed meeting everyone and doing the workshops.
I learned a lot more about people's general views about disabilities and how things can be improved.
Why do you think Youth Voice matters?
Because it's important for people to see us and our additional needs.
It means doing better services generally, and
and happier and healthier young people is for the general betterment of society. We have like better services, we've got better education systems, and I think it's always like in the society's best interest to have happy and healthy young people, to make sure that we're the people of the future who go on to solve all of these world problems, and use Voice Matters in that way, because we're the future and it's worth talking about.
What do you hope this conference will achieve?
I hope that it gives youth voice a further agenda and push in policy, and I hope that young people get a chance to speak for themselves and feel that they can make a difference.
We hope you have enjoyed listening to the views of young people and hopefully learned something new.
After the conference, I was asked to join the National Children's Bureau all-staff meeting to tell them about it. There were 90 people on the Zoom call, so I really was hoping my technology didn't let me down. It all went really well and I spoke for 5 minutes. I got some great feedback. Another opportunity was that I was asked to do a ministerial roundtable. A couple of months ago, I took part in an online meeting with ministers, Claire Coutinho and Maria Caulfield. I gave a 5-minute speech about transition to tell the ministers about my own experiences and how things need to be better for young people with SEND. The ministers agreed that things need to change. Here is a clip. School, my passion is sport, and despite my disability, I am very good at football coaching and want to pursue this as my career. I know which college I want to go to, and I know this isn't one of the pathways set out by the local authority for people like me. I feel like I don't have the same options as my friends. I am very worried that the next year and a half will be a constant battle to get the right support, so I can choose my own future, not be told what I should do or where I should go. Then, after that, I will have to transition into adult health and social services, which is another big worry of mine. I have heard such awful stories from others. I know about preparation for adulthood. However, in my experience, these are just words, and I don't see any of this in practice. I think the government needs to make local authorities more accountable. In my area, they don't follow what the law says. They don't stick to any timelines, and they don't make sure that schools are doing what is in the EHCP. My Year 9 transition review was in April 2022. I still don't have the final plan yet. How can this be allowed to happen? I think that there is no point in having a law to protect young people with SEND if there are no consequences if it is broken, as it seems to be in my experience. In the new improvement plan, there is going to be guidance on effective transitions. How will this support someone like me in Year 10 wanting to transition to college in 2024?
Brilliant, Sam. Thank you very much. You raised quite a few points there that are picked up in the improvement plan. Ministers, is there anything you'd like to
Yes,
to build
so
on?
just to say, I think this point about transitions is crucial, because one of the things that I've seen and heard a lot from families and young people is they had one setting, whether it was their primary school or might have been their secondary school or whatever it was, where they were settled and things worked well, and then it was when they went to their next step and the adjustments or the flexibilities that they found that worked for them didn't follow through, meant that they sort of had almost like a cliff edge moment. I think it's really important for confidence and trust to be able to manage those transitions smoothly. So we are looking at guidance. You rightly talked about that difference between primary school and secondary school being a big factor, but also secondary school and post-16 as well.
This year, I am training to be a young commissioner. We will be evaluating services in our city and giving feedback. From my point of view, I will especially be looking at accessibility and how well people listen to my voice. The The benefits I get from using my tech voice have surprised me in some ways. I thought I was just learning to communicate better, but I have gained so much more than that. People treat me differently. It's like they understand me better. People ask me to do more things. They speak to me more. Instead of my ma'am, they include me more in conversations. My tech voice has broken down barriers. My confidence to speak in my normal voice has also improved. I was interviewed by Together for Children at our last STARS event. I was taken by surprise, so I hadn't prepared anything. I think I did quite a good job. Here is the video from the event.
I'm Lisa Elliott, and my role within TSC is Participation Engagement Officer with Children with Special Educational Needs and Disabilities. So today we have our holiday activity and food programme that's specifically aimed at our children with special educational needs and disabilities. This is provided through funding from the Department for Education. And as you can see in the background, we have our climbing wall. We provide things like our planetarium, our cosmology. We have our small animals from Angela's Ark. We've got snakes and all sorts of fun things. We have our food nutrition programme. We also provide a free healthy meal for the children that attend here and their families, because what we want here is a family event where everyone is comfortable being them, and it's a safe environment, and that's the key of today's event. So essentially, an initial idea of this event came about through our youth voice, the STARS, who are a special educational needs and disabilities youth voice, and from there it's grown. And it's become bigger and bigger, and essentially we listen to what the young people tell us, what the families tell us, and we try to provide the right signposts and the right activities to make this fun, friendly, completely inclusive event.
I started to do an event of our school, the Kingdom of myself, and I started with a lot of activities and getting taking engage like that. The point that me, that guy, I'm not sure that people really want time for more stuff.
I have learned so much on my communication journey. Here are just a few tips I would like to offer you, so you can communicate better with people like me. The best advice I can give you is, please be patient. Try to imagine yourself in my position. Please don't assume I have nothing to say. Sometimes I say nothing because I am tired, or it's just too much effort. That doesn't mean I have nothing to say or that I am passive. Please don't speak for me or finish my sentences. I like the AAC coach on Facebook. She has some good tips. I also have a good tip for others using the speech function on their laptop. Sometimes the tech voice pronounces things in a strange way. I have learned to change the spelling so that it sounds right. For example, I have to spell person P-U-R-S-O-N, or it sounds like this. Person. Ha ha. My next step is to go to college to study sport. I will be a coach one day. I know I will. I would like to develop my tech voice to be more spontaneous. When I am a coach, I want to be well understood, but I can't pre-plan everything I want to say. I think I will use a mixture of my voice and my tech voice. I would also like to be able to add more expression to my tech voice. I sometimes want to tell a joke, but this voice doesn't do it very well. LOL. Lastly, the one thing I would really like is for a tech voice with a Geordie accent, so I could say things like, come on the tune, and ha way the lads, ha ha. Thank you for listening. Please ask me or my man any questions you like.